Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight, I'm making a string bean dish. It's string beans in a sauce with potatoes and carrots. It could be a main dish, it could be a side dish. It's delicious, you're gonna love it. So let's get started. Okay, so here I have 1 pound of fresh string beans. I've washed them, I've cut off the stem. If they're really long, you could just go ahead and just cut them in half. Or you could just use a knife and cut them in half. But if they're fresh, they should snap. I also, this recipe is easy. I use this as a side dish for holidays or just any time. I also have this just as my main dish. It's string beans in sauce with potatoes and carrots. So I just eat a bowl of it with a baguette and some feta cheese on the side. I'm perfectly fine with that being my dinner. But this could be a side dish to a steak or a piece of chicken or fish, whatever. It's absolutely delicious. The ingredients are very minimal. The only thing is it's just the cooking time. So we're gonna get this put together. Again, this is rinsed and washed and it's 1 pound. So we'll get to the next step. Okay, so I'm using 4 medium golden potatoes. I'm gonna remove the skin and I'm gonna cut them in quarters. So that's the next step. I'm also going to cut 2 large pieces of carrot in little rounds, like just 1/4 inch rounds. So that's the next step. Okay, so my potatoes are peeled. This is what I do. I cut it in half and then I cut it in half again. And this is the size potato that I put in my dish. So again, we have 4 golden potatoes. So I'm just gonna do the rest of the potatoes like this and set them aside, and I'm going to work on my carrot. Okay, so here's my carrots. They're peeled, washed, and I'm just gonna cut them in little 1/4 to 1/2 inch pieces. So I'm gonna do that for all of them, just like this. And you could put 2 medium to large carrots or 3, depending on if you love carrots. Even the potatoes, I put 4. You could put 3, it's fine. I just know that my family goes right for the potatoes first. And so I try to make sure there's enough for everybody. So I'm just gonna do this for the other 3, the other 2 carrots. I'm gonna set it aside. And then I'm going to, I need 1 onion shredded and 3 cloves of garlic shredded, and that will be the next step. Okay, so I have a medium onion, and I'm going to shred it on the large side of my grater. I'm going to do the whole onion. So that's my onion. Then I'm going to turn the grater to the other side. And I'm going to grate my 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, and now after this, I'm going to add some salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to cook out the water from the onion for a few minutes, maybe like 3 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and add the string beans, the vegetables, the sauce, and then it's going to start cooking. Okay, so that is the next step. Okay, so in my skillet, I have the shredded onion and garlic, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. So I'm going to cook this on medium-high heat. And don't worry, my garlic is not going to burn. It's going to be quick. So we're going to do this just to get some of the water burnt out of the onion. Okay, so about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, and then while that's happening, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Okay, and then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. And I just always add it in the beginning. And I don't add any more salt to this. That's it. So I'll just mix all that up. Okay. And then after the 2-3 minutes, we'll start adding everything else. That'll be the next step. Okay, so now it's 2-3 minutes. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my string beans. Okay, just add them all in. I usually use a big pot to do this, but I didn't feel like that today. So I'm just using a very large skillet. So then just mix this up. Okay. Okay, lost one. Okay, and then the next thing would be is a half a cup of fresh dill. So I always have fresh dill in my freezer. So that's a half a cup. Add that right in. Okay. All right. The next step would be to add the sauce. 28 ounces of crushed tomato sauce. You could just use regular tomato sauce or crushed is fine. So this is crushed. Okay, mix that up. The next thing is fill this can with water to the top and then dump that in as well. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so 1 can of water. Okay, and then our potatoes and our carrots. So just mix this up. Okay, let the water and the sauce like combine a little bit. And then in the end, if you think you need more salt, go ahead and add it. I usually don't. I put in as much as I would need in the beginning. Okay, and then this just gets to a boil. And then we put the lid on and we simmer it for 1.5 hours. Then after the 1.5 hours, we raise the heat up just a little bit. We remove the lid and then cook it uncovered for 20 minutes or so. So that's it. So I just need this to get to a boil and then I put the cover on. And this is my string beans with potatoes, carrots, and sauce. It's so delicious. So let's get this boiled here. And yeah, so when it's done, I will show you. Let me do a close-up. Look how good that looks. Okay, so it's getting to a boil. I'm going to put the lid on. I don't know if I told you to simmer it for 1.5 hours. So the lid's on, simmer for 1.5 hours, then we remove the lid, and then we cook it on a higher heat for about 20 minutes, maybe 30. Okay, so far it's been about 30 minutes, and I just wanted to let you know, gently like mix it a little bit. Try not to break the potatoes or anything, even if you just wiggle the pan like this. But yeah, so it's just going to continue cooking. I just wanted to tell you to check on it, just to make sure you just mix it up a little bit. Okay, 1 hour has passed, and so I removed the lid, and I'm going to continuously cook it on a higher heat for about 20-30 minutes. We just want this to reduce a little bit more, the juice inside. Okay, and then when it's done, I will show you. Okay, so my food's complete. So basically when we put it on a higher heat, it was to make the sauce, reduce the sauce. I had said juices, but it was to reduce the sauce. And if you want to continue cooking it a little longer with the lid off, you can, but it's perfectly done now. And I'm just going to plate it. You can have it with a piece of bread, some feta cheese, a side dish to any meal, or the main dish. Thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. Okay, so here's my food plated. Look how good it looks.